Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Is this your first podcast ever, Miss Valerie?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to have fun. So today we're here with Valerie Hansel. We're going to talk all about what she does and what she owns and all the cool things. But first, how about a little intro?
Do it.
Cool. Here we go.
In the know in the 920.
Isn't it fun? Our little jingle.
So cute.
Here we are once again.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Thank you. I want to just keep that little voice forever, you know? Yeah.
It's like it's not quite chipmunk voice, like little ones,
Right.
like growing up a little bit, but she just has that innocence
Yep.
to her. Just
Absolutely. I know.
So cute.
I could keep her 9 forever. Oh,
Yeah.
sweet age. All right. So today we are here with Valerie Hansel,
Hi.
and she is the owner and esthetician.
Esthetician.
That's always a tough one for me. Esthetician. V's Skin Studio.
And fun thing about esthetician, people sometimes think I'm saying anesthesiologist.
Oh, yes.
And one time I went to a psychic and she confused it with mortician. So she was like, it makes sense that you can talk to dead people. And I'm like, I actually
You're
can't.
like, okay, wait, that's
not me.
Not quite
Not me.
wrong profession.
You're like,
wrong.
I'm just more interested in the
Profession.
dead skin cells.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I love it. So V's Skin Studio, though, and we're going to find out all about that. But first, Nicholas, we have some new
Kelly.
listings this week, don't we?
Oh, we sure do.
Tell the public, tell our fans about our new listings and what they should buy.
I will tell all of our fans
Okay.
about these fantastic new listings.
Okay.
All right, so we got two that actually just popped up in the Darboy area. So they're both Village of Harrison. Number one
Kimberly
is
Schools
Yep,
for both,
Kimberly Schools. Yep. Yeah, it's just a great location. So number one, N9670 Darboy Drive. So that one's 3 beds, 2.5 baths, 3-car garage. Got that one listed for $364,900.
And I can attest that that one is a very fantastic location.
Yeah,
Huge backyard.
it's a half-acre lot.
Yes.
Both of these are ranches, by the way.
Yes, both are ranches. Both were well cared for, well maintained.
Yeah.
And that one, you can literally walk through your backyard if you wanted to. Not saying that you should, but you could walk through your backyard, down the street just a hair, and you'd be right at the Silver Spur.
Right at the Silver Spur. That's
You
what I was
know,
trying to think was essential too.
Yep.
I was going to say the Darboy Club, but that's not there anymore.
That used to be, right? It used to be a landmark.
Got Mr.
there, but-
Bruce over there now.
Mr. Bruce, yep.
Yeah.
So there's that one.
So
Yes.
there's that one. Yes.
And then what's the other one?
And then we have N9678, very similar house numbers here. Handle Drive.
Okay.
3 beds, 2 baths, 3-car garage. That one's listed for $359,900.
So very similar price points on the two as well.
Third of an acre lot there. And yeah, I mean, that's also a ranch. It's got a bit of finished space in the basement. Yeah,
Yes, that
not
does.
much else
That
to
one
talk
has
about
finished
that.
space in the basement. You're absolutely right.
I think that one was the one that had the fairly new roof, too.
I
6 years
believe-
old.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
going to say I believe you're right about that, and it's that one really is in like pretty much move-in ready condition.
Yep.
I mean, just move in and live. So, two good options. And I always think this time of year, especially we were talking a little bit about this before we started. It's Wisconsin. It's real
Yeah.
estate in Wisconsin,
Well-
so things tend to slow a little bit. But it's great that we still have options. And really, we said this last week, but I think it's so important. Buyers,
Yeah.
it's your time.
And if there's any interested buyers out there that want to learn more about these two houses, both of them will be having open houses on Sunday,
This Sunday.
10 to noon, both of them. And they're not far from each other, so you could do both in, less than an hour.
What would be the date this Sunday?
I believe that is going to be the 10th.
The 10th.
Yep,
You're
because the
absolutely right.
11th is the day after, and that's Veterans Day.
The 11th is the day after. Is that how that goes? Wow.
I thought it went to 12.
Yeah, right?
Oh, 10, 12.
Okay, so the
I'm
10th.
being bullied.
Poor Nick. The 10th, Sunday the 10th, from 10 to noon for both. So like you said, they're a hop, skip, and a jump away from each other.
Yes.
They're both ranches. They're both in the same school district. They're both in the same price range. You might as well check out both.
You might as well.
You might as well. Check them both out and buy one of the two, you know?
Or both.
Or both if
Yeah,
you want, if
yeah.
that's what you want.
You know, buy one for your best
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. Doesn't everyone do that?
Yeah, right?
For sure.
We'll do a buy two, get one sale.
There you,
Oh.
there you go.
No.
I don't think Kelly likes that.
I know. I was like, which person am I going to get to sell their house for free? I don't know that that's going to happen. All right.
Well, you're in Kimberly School District.
There you go.
I'm not selling my house for free. I cannot. I'll be living under the bridge. All right. Well, good to know. Good to know that we have these coming out. And like I said, it's a great, honestly, I think it's a great time for buyers because all of the buyers out there, I know there's buyers listening that, because we worked with a lot of them too, that, you know, put in offer after offer after offer. And the market's been so competitive and they were just outbid, unfortunately. You know, when there's 10, 15 offers going in on a property, one person's going to win and a lot of people aren't going to win.
Yeah.
And by law, none of us are allowed to know what anybody else is offering. So it's not like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So all you can do is put your best foot forward. And our buyers definitely do that. Sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. But this time of year, historically speaking, and I think we can say this with a good degree of confidence again this year, there's just not as much competition at this time. So if you're a buyer and you're kind of like, well, I don't want to move in the winter, I get that. I do. But this could be your opportunity to have a house. And moving is only like a 1-2 day thing.
Yeah.
The house, you know, you'll have for a very long time.
Yeah.
Building equity in something that's yours versus paying somebody else's
Mm-hmm.
mortgage.
And if you move now, you can be in before Christmas and
You could.
get the lights up.
Or you know what? Move during Christmas and get an even better rate or something. I don't know how that works, but
You never know.
You
Who
never know.
knows? Who knows?
just buy a house now.
Yeah, just buy a house,
It's
right?
fine. Winter in Wisconsin, we've been doing this for years.
Absolutely.
It's fine.
Do you know, I feel like I've always moved in the winter. I don't know why it's happened for my life that way, but I have. And I don't love it, but it's just, I've lived. I've
Yeah.
lived, everyone. You'll live.
Yeah. And it's really disheartening when you put in an offer and you don't get the house that you want.
It is. And that's where some people have, and I get it. Some people have just dropped off because they're like, you know what, we tried this a couple of times. This sucks. And I get it.
Yeah.
But now is that time, if you're that person that you're listening to this and you're like, okay, yeah, that was me. And I kind of would still like to buy a house, but I've just been so defeated, right? Come back. Because now we're going to have a lot more success.
Yeah. And I've heard that there's been houses on the market for, usually they get snatched up within 48 hours and they've been on the market for like a week or so.
Yes.
So,
Things are sitting a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about you,
hi.
my dear.
Okay.
Miss Valerie. All right. So tell us all about your business. What services do you offer? All the things.
Oh, okay. Well, first off, I'm not used to being asked questions.
You're doing
I know.
fantastic.
I'm the one that asks people questions. You know, they're in my trade
Sure.
room and
Yeah.
I interview
You
them.
start the
I
conversation.
do.
Yes.
So the only time I talk about myself is in therapy. So this is just
This is kind of like that.
yes.
This is our weekly therapy.
I love it. Okay, the question about my business.
Yes. What do you do?
Well, I'm an esthetician, a licensed esthetician.
Again, not to be confused.
With mortician or
Right.
anesthesiologist.
Okay.
I do not, well, I do put people to sleep and not in that way. and
And you don't speak to dead people.
well, you don't know that actually.
Okay.
I could. I do
Yeah.
have a sweatshirt that says Skin Witch on it. So
I love
I
it.
have no idea.
I love it.
I do speak to the dead skin cells, tell them to go away.
That's amazing. Please tell them.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah, I'm a licensed esthetician. I own V Skin Studio in Appleton. First, how I became an esthetician. When I was around like 18, 19 years old, I actually broke out in really bad cystic acne. I remember hating going out in public because I remember one time I was like, okay, I'm not going to wear makeup. I got this. It's okay. It's okay that there's bumps all over my face. It is fine. And like some of the lesions were actually like, this is going to sound so gross, but you know what? I'm super transparent. They were actually like oozing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, screw it. I'm going to go out and it's going to be fine. And
Mhm.
I saw people look at my face.
Mhm.
And this was during a time when we didn't have like TikTok skincare trends,
Right.
or like it wasn't on social media.
Correct. Yeah, you're so right about that.
Yeah, so I had no idea what to do.
Mhm.
And at that time, I was,
And kids can be so mean.
at that time, yes. Like I felt like I had to wear like a bunch of makeup in order to
Mhm.
cover it up. So
Mhm.
with my skin journey, I learned about makeup. So for a short period of time, I was doing makeup artistry, but
Mhm.
I don't do that anymore. But, oh my gosh, I'm squirreling. Hold on.
You're doing so well.
Thank you.
I squirrel
appreciate
all the time.
It's like
I'm more of a chipmunk guy.
Oh my gosh.
they are really cute though, like just little,
They
little,
are.
little
They
chubby
are
cheeks
cute.
and everything. So cute. I like to call it side quests because I'm a little bit of a D&D nerd.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
thank you. Yeah, so I went the medicinal route when my skin broke out, and I remember asking the physician at the time, like, what do I do to take care of my skin at home? Like, I'm on these medications, what do I do? And I kid you not, they could not give me an answer. They were just like, I don't know, wash your face, put moisturizer on, like, do SPF, like, absolutely wear SPF. And that was the one thing that they could all agree on. But do you know how many cleansers are out there? Like, how many options are out there?
There's too many.
I know, and a lot of them are misleading. Like a lot
Yeah.
of them that's like geared for acne, but you don't even realize that some of those ingredients in there are actually not acne safe.
Mhm.
So yeah, at that time, my skin was breaking out. I was going the medicinal route. I was doing a medicine on my skin that actually made it worse. But that's the thing; it makes it worse before it gets better. I feel like if I was guided on how to take care of my skin while on that medication, it wouldn't have scarred it so badly. But I was working at Home Depot at the time, and I was very frustrated. And keep in mind, I was like 18, 19. I wasn't going to college. I was working retail. I had
Sure.
no idea what to do.
Mhm.
I I Googled at work. Probably shouldn't have been
I
doing
love
this.
this.
Yes,
I love it.
I Googled skincare professional.
I
So
love
was like,
that.
what is that? Like,
Mhm.
is there someone that does that? And
Sure.
esthetician came up.
Yeah.
And then it was like everything made sense. I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna do this.
She's dancing down the aisles of Home Depot. She's like, I got this. I figured it out.
I'm gonna do so.
I love
so
that.
thank you, Home Depot,
Yes.
for supplying your computers at
Yes.
the front desk.
Thank you, Home Depot.
I should have been working,
You
but
know what? We all have had those times. We've all had those moments. Been there, done that.
Yep.
Mhm. And it's hard figuring out what you want to do and what all of the
Yeah.
things. What's going to make you money, but you also enjoy it, and just all the things.
Yeah.
So when you find it, it's like,
Yes,
Yay!
like it's there. You want to
Yeah.
do it. Unfortunately, though, at that time, like there wasn't a lot of education, like because you have to go to school to be an esthetician. The amount of times, like I am working on someone's skin, and they're like, "So, do you have to go to school for this?" I'm like, "Well, I hope so." Like, I'm
Right. Yeah.
putting a
You're
chemical
like,
peel on your face,
right. I didn't just come up with this overnight.
And actually, I
Love it.
so I
love
did
that.
go to school for this.
Good.
You have to go to school for this, but
Okay.
at that time, after I looked up esthetician, there was
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't a lot of options.
Sure.
And I grew up lower to middle class. I didn't have a lot of money. Didn't have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There wasn't a lot of options for me.
Sure.
So it took me a little bit to go to aesthetic school. I actually went to UW-Fox for a year and a half and studied communications. I should have studied business. So if you are an esthetician out there and you're going to college, go to business school. Just do it.
Okay.
Just do it. Do it.
I would agree with you on that. I have a business degree, and it's just good to have all of the inner workings of a business.
yeah, because
Yeah.
learning as you go is really hard work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so I finally went to beauty school because financial aid was available.
Sure.
And I became an esthetician, and that's
Where did you go? Are you scared to? Is this off topic? Should we have asked you this ahead of time?
no,
Abort.
that's okay. I'm just trying to decide if I want to say it or not.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
You don't have to.
I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
I went to a school that did not. It prepared me for state boards, but it did not prepare me for the career.
Got it.
And that was very frustrating.
Sure.
And I think that's why now I educate at the Tech for their aesthetics program now. So
I love
I'm
that.
an adjunct there, but
That's really cool.
it was very hard. So after I graduated,
Yeah.
I got my license. I did more of a corporate job, and I took all of their education that I could have. I went to the International Dermal Institute. I have studied face reality acne specialist. I'm currently in the MBK acne detectives because that's, I'm an
Wow.
acne girl.
Dang.
You've done a lot of things.
I've tried.
Don't you sort of feel like right now she's looking at our skin like, well, she could really use a little bit of this.
But that's the thing. Like, look at my skin. Like, I am an esthetician and I don't have perfect skin. I just posted on Instagram, like, even estheticians have bad skin days too, like hard days. And that's why I became an esthetician, because I don't have perfect skin. And I want to educate people that you don't have to have perfect skin to have healthy skin. And that's like the biggest thing at my studio is our goal is healthy skin.
Sure.
Like, we want to rebuild that lipid barrier. We want to educate you on how to take care of your skin at home, how not to give yourself a chemical burn at home because you're following a TikTok trend. That you want to hydrate, and there's a difference between dry and dehydration.
Sure.
So no, I am not looking at your skin and judging you, because I've even had estheticians come to me and they're like, don't judge my skin. And I know I'm also saying, don't judge my skin, when we're all just trying our best.
Yeah.
So
I love that. No, I love that, because that is so true. I think in any profession, it's like, even like with us, it's like, I think sometimes people come to my house and they're expecting something, and then it's like, sorry, I just live in a very modest ranch here. It's nothing to see, nothing to see.
They're like, you don't have some Beverly Hills high rise.
Nope. This isn't $1 million listing.
I mean, it's not
unfortunately.
staged perfectly.
Exactly.
It
At
doesn't
all
smell like
times.
cookies.
I know. At all moments. Yes. So that's good. It's good to be, that human side of things. So that's what got you started.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned you were working a corporate job after school, you said, right?
Correct,
And you were
yes.
just getting a bunch more education, just learning everything you could.
And when I say more corporate job, I meant like more big. It was a bigger business. I was a skin
Okay.
therapist for
Okay,
Ulta.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
I was
okay.
a skin therapist for Ulta.
Gotcha. Okay. So you
and-
were in the line of work now.
Correct.
You were just,
yes.
gotcha.
Yes. I was considered a skin therapist because they were more bougie than to call me an esthetician, even though that is what I was technically. And I joked at the time, when you're in the service providing industry, that people tend to just think of you as a therapist. So I would joke, I'm a skin therapist, but people drop the skin a lot. So
That's a really good point.
yes. But yeah, I did a lot of education through there, and there was a time where I felt like I wanted more. So then I was in Oshkosh, and I've always worked at new places, because Ulta in Oshkosh, I was their first skin therapist there. I helped them build up their clientele there. Yeah, I was by myself, brand spanking new, and then a little spa in Appleton called Komorebi opened up. I actually found it on Craigslist, which I think it was just fate. It was just,
we're here to tell you, you get all your good things on Craigslist.
or all the bad things.
Right?
Be careful.
Yeah. Yes, please be careful. Don't take that advice. That was a joke.
Somebody's gonna be like, Kelly, I got bed bugs.
Yeah. Kelly Davies said no. But Craigslist used to, I feel like it did. It used to be a lot more popular, and you could
Yes.
find some real good things on there.
I remember going on there all the time looking for like room rentals for business, or like when I was looking for a new apartment, or like Craigslist was the place to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, the small business, the small spa was opening up, and I applied because it just made sense. I follow my gut a lot, so if I feel a pull, I'm gonna go towards it.
Sure.
And then I was working at Komorebi for about a year. I was their only esthetician. And I learned a lot from there too. More like, they were more of a spa setting. So I learned a lot of like massage techniques, more relaxation, what it's like to work in a spa setting. I worked with a lot of massage therapists, which I love massage therapists. They're just
I would agree with you though. Like I've been seeing this wonderful massage therapist in Appleton now for a while, and it's like because I'm super high strung,
yes.
and
You feel it in your shoulders.
yeah, and I walk in there, and it's like I feel like I'm in a whole different world for an hour or so. Yeah.
Who's your massage therapist, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I can't. Mandy is her name, and she is at Inspire.
Okay.
Yes, I like Inspire.
Spa.
So it's right by
Is
oh
that
my
the one that
goodness,
also
the fire?
Downtown?
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah.
It's right by the fire.
Yes. I know the owner because she also just opened up Flourish, right?
Yes, she did.
Yes, her and I are Facebook friends.
I love that.
Yes.
It's a
yes.
really cute place. And seriously, I
is.
walk in there, and again, I'm just like,
I actually went-
relaxation for a little while.
I went there for my birthday because when I was a solo esthetician, like I'm tired of giving myself facials. So my friend took me to a spa, and I went to Inspire, and I got a facial, and I'm like, I am going to get a facial that's not going to be done by me, and they did a really good job.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I
So
love that.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, okay, so you were there.
Yes.
You were working, you were learning about the spa setting more and more.
Yes.
Then what happened?
So, just to reiterate, I've worked with hairstylists, I've worked with massage therapists, so I kind of found a balance. Like, did I want more of like a salon setting, more of a spa setting? None of that fit. But I wasn't planning on leaving Komorebi. I really wasn't. There was a position open for Alika. It was the organic skincare line that Komorebi used in their space. The position was opened for, it was pretty much like the educator, what do you call them? They sell and talk about.
Like the rep for
yes,
the, right?
Yes, yes. Like a rep was open for Alika for the Midwest, and my boss at the time, actually, she told me to go for it, so I did. At the same time, someone that was in my circle told me about an office that opened up and asked me if I ever thought about going off on my own. So I was like, holy crap, this is a lot happening at once.
All these decisions.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm a Gemini. I don't know about you guys if you know about zodiacs or anything, but I have such a hard time making decisions unless I feel a pull to it.
Sure.
Long story short, took a look at the space. I went over to one of my friend's house. She's actually she is a money coach now. Yes.
Very cool.
She's really cool. Might have
Very
to give
cool.
you her
Yeah.
information. I was at her place. She was helping me find like mindfulness and be less anxious. 'Cause I don't know if you can tell I have high anxiety.
Oh, me too.
It's the worst.
Girl.
It's the worst.
I'm all about mental health and all the things.
And as I was closing my eyes, I actually saw the space in my head, the new office space. So that was my sign to go for it. So
I love it.
So in a matter of months, I left Komorebi, started my own business, and also became the rep for Alika and was traveling the Midwest to educate other businesses on Alika. So I remember I was flown to either North or South Dakota, and then I had to drive to the other one, and I was educating people about that while also starting my own thing.
So you were doing a lot.
Yeah, but that's usually how it goes, right? Especially when you are an entrepreneur, you put so much on your plate.
Oh my
at
gosh,
once.
absolutely. The joke about, being an entrepreneur, you can work any 80 hours a week that you want. A lot of times that's really true.
Yeah, and also you can do it while you're sleeping too.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yep, you'll wake up and you're like, man, I just had an idea. I dreamt about it. And
all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
You guys are out here dreaming about ideas.
I know.
I'm like, how did I end up on top of this skyscraper?
I envy you.
Nothing useful.
Stop. All right. So now you're doing your thing.
Yes, and actually, you mentioned like you're an advocate for therapy. V Skin Studio. That name came from a therapy session.
I love that.
Yes, so I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I actually went through dialectic behavioral group therapy, which 10-10 recommend for anyone. It helps with interpersonal skills, communication.
Sure.
teaches you emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
Which I feel like a lot of people don't know.
Mhm.
Well, I was in therapy and I was stressing to my therapist at the time about it. And she was like, well, what would you call it? Like Valerie's Skin Studio? And I was like, no, that's too many syllables. V's Skin Studio. And she's like, okay. And then it all just.
And there you go.
Yeah, I went
There it
home,
was.
told my husband, we were dating at the time,
Yep.
and he was like, I could do something with that because, like I mentioned before, he's an art teacher for
Mhm.
Kakana High School. But before he became an art teacher, he was a graphic designer. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
So he can help you
That's
with all that kind
convenient.
of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's so nice when our husbands can help us out,
I
right?
know. Yeah. It's very, very sweet.
Yes.
He helps with a lot of things.
Very
I
cool.
feel like I'm missing out. I don't have a husband.
Well, I don't know what your fiance Amelia would think about that, but I mean, I'm sure we could figure it out.
No, you're the husband. You're
Yeah,
gonna be the
you're going to be
I
the
know I'm the useful one.
Yeah, you have to be the
Damn
useful
it.
one. Yep. Mhm.
Sorry.
Mhm. Okay, so what? And we talked a little bit about this already. What did you do prior to starting the business? We talked about Home Depot.
Yes.
We talked about, how you got started. You went to school. You
Mhm.
actually went to school for this.
Yes. I actually went to school for aesthetics.
Yes.
Not for business.
But that's okay because
Mhm.
there's always, like I said, I went to school for business and I'm still learning things and will always be making mistakes and always learning things.
It's always changing
Always.
too. Always changing.
For sure. So, what do you feel have been some of the biggest obstacles that you've had to overcome, my dear? Because now, how long have you been V Skin Studio now?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years,
Okay.
and then
Cool.
2000 at the end. I think at the end of 2022. Does anyone else feel like all these years
Oh,
kind
yes.
of mold together?
Yes.
Because I started in 2019. It was 2022 where I expanded to a little bit bigger location. It was a suite with a lobby, 2 bathrooms, and 3 offices.
Very cool.
Thank you. Wait, what was the question?
So, just kind of like
Name a time when you have had to overcome.
an obstacle.
Yes.
Obstacles.
Yes.
Obstacles. I started to
Obstacles.
get stuck there too. I was like, where was I going with this? Yes. No, like things that you've, in the last 5 years that, because again, like I said, I have learned the biggest lessons in real estate and
Yes.
starting a team and running a business
Mhm.
from the times that things didn't quite go correctly.
Yeah, and
you know?
especially I think when it's solo, it's not easier, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit more smoother. But when you start adding on a team,
Mm-hmm.
that's hard. I think where I was getting with that was when I expanded, like the first few years of my career, of my business, I wasn't in debt. It was actually, like I said, I get pulled.
Me too.
Isn't it great? And then you go into debt and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, great.
Mhm.
That's what they mean
Yep.
by
Mhm.
business debt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
mhm.
Uh-huh.
It's
So
a great feeling.
Yeah.
And debt just makes me uncomfortable. So,
Mhm.
but when I first opened up, it was actually, I would say, magical because the exact number, like the money number that I needed, my husband, who we were only dating at the time,
Mhm.
he was getting that back as a tax return. And so he handed me the check and he was like, open up the skin studio.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yes.
And that's when you knew you were marrying him.
I mean, I knew that before.
Yeah.
So, yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we were engaged at that time. I don't know. I know that he was stuck with me.
That's
so.
really cool.
Yeah. So fast forward and I expanded. Now I have debt. I have a team. I'm trying to figure out how to be a team leader, like a boss,
Mhm.
while running a business,
Mhm.
wearing a whole bunch of hats, when all I wanted to do was teach people about skin health
Mhm.
and help acne. And it's a lot of hats, but you just keep pushing through it because you're like, I have a purpose and
Right.
I want to keep helping as many people as I want. Actually, when I hired on, what is it called? Because you have employees. Is it unemployment insurance or is it?
Mhm.
I think it's that
Yep.
where you
You
have to.
pay into that.
Yep, you have to have that.
Mhm.
And I was a little bit late to the game for that. You're smiling because you're like, I'm scared on where this is gonna go.
No, it's totally fine. I'm just like, no, because this is the kind of stuff trust me, until I had an accountant, I was like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know.
nothing. You don't know anything.
Mm-mm.
so with that, if you lapse, you have to pay twice the amount that would have cost, or $750, whatever is more. And I lapsed for a week. Now, keep in mind, twice the amount of that time would have been like $14, like pennies. But because $750 is more than that, I was fined $750. Not only that, but also just having a team, just expanding. And I had tried to appeal. I wrote to who I needed to write to. I gave them like the last 3 months of my budget, what I was bringing in, what was coming out. And they're like, because this is the law, we can't do anything about it. You have to pay this. But now, like, they were able to give me a payment plan. I paid it. And that's just what happens. Like, you live and you learn from it.
For sure.
It was after that moment, though, where I was like, you know, I'm not going to be as hesitant to charge a late cancellation fee.
Sure.
Because I was just fined $750.
Right.
And
you're running a business.
Yes.
I agree. And same, like, the business that we're in, we have to, you know, meet new people a lot. And there are services that we provide up front in the beginning that are free, because that's part of what we do.
Yep.
You know, so we'll show somebody a house or two. But I've gotten really unapologetic over the years about, I'm not the tour guide to the Fox Cities. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not here to just take you around on houses. If you are not pre-approved and you can't buy a house right now, then go to open houses. I would love for you to go to open houses. Those are free for alls. Do that. But until you can actually buy a home, or, you know, if you're going to have me come over and price your home, at least be considering doing it, right?
You don't want to be taken advantage of.
Correct.
And I feel like a lot of people, even unintentionally, do that. They don't respect time, and time is so precious right now.
And you've got to think about the fact that, like, I've had so many people over the years that are like, well, I can't talk to you until 8 p.m. because I have to work. Okay, cool. I can talk to you at 8 o'clock because I have that flexibility, and that's the job that I'm doing, right? But just like you have to work to earn money, I also have to work to earn money. I cannot just, I wish I could do this just for the heck of it.
Right?
But I can't.
Yes. And I don't know if it's the same for your industry, but people tend to forget that this is a career.
Correct.
Like, this is my job. I am not just giving people facials for
Funsies.
Yes. Yes. Like, don't get me wrong. I love it so
absolutely.
much.
Right.
But it's also how I pay my bills too, and how I run my business, and how I pay my team as well.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a lady not that long ago that, this didn't happen to me, but it happened to one of the girls on our team that was just so appalled because she asked her our agent on our team asked her up front for pre-approval, and she was like, what happened to customer service? What happened to just going out on a Saturday and meeting people? And I'm thinking, okay, that's it. You're really mixing the two things here, and you shouldn't be, because having good customer service is one thing, but still having an expectation and boundaries, and, you know, I want to get paid. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
You know?
And I think that's important with education, is like educating those people, like, hey, this isn't the norm anymore. Like, we have to proceed with intention.
Yes, for sure. I love that.
It's hard. Yeah.
So would you say, like, probably, okay, obviously, big learning lesson for you was, again, learning not to feel bad when you've got to charge somebody if they don't show, and that kind of thing, because you are running a business, but probably also, like, just knowing all of the ins and outs of running a business, all that silly accounting stuff.
Yes. And I've also learned,
would have been helpful.
Yes.
Right?
And I also learned that if you do make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Like, I
Sure.
was charged that $750, and I am still running. Like, I'm still providing services. I'm still in the game.
Life will go on.
Yes. And it's hard when you tell someone with anxiety that they made a mistake, because then you hang on to that, and you're like, oh my gosh, am I a bad business owner? But
Right.
that's just life. Like,
Well-
you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna learn.
Just see it like a college credit. You just paid $750 for a lesson that you probably won't
Oh my
There you
God.
go.
forget.
I love that. Can I get
Sometimes
my
that's
degree
very
for that?
true. Yes.
Like, where's that
exactly,
paper?
right?
Yeah, like eventually I
Exactly.
spend like 30 grand. I
Yeah,
get something out of it.
Exactly. Yep. No, I love that though. And honestly, for me, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, and I would encourage anybody in business to do this, is I was, as my broker would say, I'm your typical realtor where I'm outgoing. He always says shaking hands and kissing babies. I'm good at those things.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of just, when I started a team, I didn't start a team right away. I was my own independent agent for many years. Then I started a team once I got really, really, really crazy busy and I needed help. And then the help kind of turned into not just having helpers, but also having agents on my team, right?
Yeah.
And that's all great. But I had no clue. Like you said, I had no clue about budgeting or, spreadsheets for that matter, or like
Mhm.
keeping track of things, or, what do I need for taxes at the end of the year? I mean, I knew some of it, right? But nowhere near what I should have known in order to really be successful from the start. And I do think that if I had done those things from the beginning, I would not have as much business debt as I do now.
Yes.
Because for a long time I just sort of threw everything up in the air and just saw where it landed.
Yep. And if you don't know, then you have to hire someone to help you, and that
Mhm.
costs money as well.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
It's a lot of, you have to spend a lot of money in order to make
You
money.
do. You
And
really do.
Yes.
Yep. And so I think if you are thinking about starting a business, that's one thing. Like, do not short yourself on that.
Yeah.
Because now I look at, again, I've got this wonderful spreadsheet and I look at every dollar. I know exactly where, I shouldn't say every dollar, because of course there's little things here
Yes.
and there, but you know what I mean. I'm not signing up for, I used to have people walk through the door and I just could never say no. And they'd be like, do you want to put your picture on shopping carts? And I was like, sure, here's $5,000 for the year.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, the money's got to be there somewhere.
You have to be intentional
Right?
about that. Yep.
Exactly. Yep. So,
Yeah, and in the beginning of my being an entrepreneur, I read that Profit First book.
mhm.
I forgot who it was by, but it was a book that taught entrepreneurs how to manage your money, and I feel like that helped me a lot. It gave me at least a system, and
Mhm.
I need a system. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'll just
Again, we'll just figure this out
yeah,
later.
it'll be fine. No, give me the envelope system. I need to know
Mhm.
where what goes. And
Yes.
then as you grow and you start
Mhm.
to hire on and you expand, then it gets a little bit more complicated, but at least you have the steps to get there. So
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
helped
I
a
did
lot.
that in the reverse order. I do not recommend that.
Ooh.
I do not recommend
But I'm
that.
sure you learned a lot.
Oh, I sure did.
Yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
sure did. Yes. My broker for the longest time, he's very, very smart and he does a ton of spreadsheets on a very high level. He has like spreadsheets for his spreadsheets. And he was like, I've been telling you this for years. And I'm like, I know, but I'm a very slow learner.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people can tell me things all day long
Mm-hmm.
and I have to figure it out on my own.
What is it? You have to be told, is it 7 times in order to make it change? I think that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Something like
For me,
that.
it must be more like 14 or something.
to
I don't
each
know.
their
own.
Double.
I always had the benefit as the younger sibling that I just got to watch Kelly make the mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I
You're
just learned.
welcome.
Yeah.
And look at you now.
Look at me now. I'm still in the exact same spot.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Okay, so I love all of that. I feel like, you've definitely been through it. You've learned some really good lessons. Where would you like to see your business, say, I know this sounds cliche, but, 4, 5, 6 years down the road?
I would like it to still be alive.
And it will be.
Yes.
Good goal.
It will
Yes.
be.
I would really like to still be in business.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one of my friends, esthetician friends, she has her own space out of town, and she just told me that she was closing up.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to school together, and we started our businesses around the same time. And just hearing her say that she's closing the doors because she's so burnt out, like it makes me very sad, and it has a kind of an ominous feeling. So in the next 5 years, I want to be growing. I
Sure.
want to still be in business. I want to continuously learn. I also want to be the best team leader that I can be for my team. And I would really like to get a little bit of a bigger space, just a little
Okay.
bit. I would like to have maybe 1 or 2 more estheticians.
Sure. I love that.
Yeah.
Those are all really good things to aspire to.
Yeah, but
And
I would
think
just be
they're all gonna
happy if I'm
happen.
still open. Like that's.
You will be.
Thank you.
You will be. You've done it for
Yeah.
5 years.
It's like raising a child. I just want it to be alive for a few more years.
Being alive is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I know what you mean though too, because people will ask me that question, and I'm like, well, I mean, yes, I have other goals, but I also feel like I've already accomplished a lot. Can we just try to make sure that the thing's still moving?
Yes.
You know, the wheels don't fall off.
Yep. And you're
Right.
probably so tired, and you're just like, there are days
Yeah.
where I'm so exhausted that I just want to,
Right.
shut my doors and go to bed.
We're
but
good. Yeah.
but really, you just want to keep it going.
Correct.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Especially with wearing so many hats.
Yes.
Mhm.
And just keep fine tuning it and just,
Yes.
keep learning.
Like I hope I learn from my mistakes and I take criticism. I take it and I learn from it. I never want to be that type of person that I'm being criticized and I don't learn from it.
Sure.
So just to keep an
Yeah.
open mind and continuously learning.
I love it.
Thank you.
So what kind of services do you guys all offer?
Well,
Tell us.
surprise, we have an acne program. I've been offering the acne program for, I want to say, I actually got certified during COVID. So 2020. and
COVID
then-
got a lot of people were very productive during COVID,
Yes.
which is great.
Yes.
Yeah, I was not.
Oh, you were not?
No.
Okay. How young can someone be? How young do you work on, in terms of acne? Because I know acne can start pretty
Yeah.
young and,
Yep. And it's all situational. It really depends. I always tell the parents, what is your child doing right now? Is it a matter of they need to get on a regimen right now to help with what's currently going on? Because I don't want to get a 13-year-old, and I've worked with kids as young as 13.
Sure.
I don't want to get them on a full regimen and have their parents spend all this money and spend all this time trying to get them to do a regimen that they're just not going to do.
Sure.
So yeah, but
Right.
I always say that,
Yeah.
tell the kids, because we have this whole first visit where we go over what acne is, what we're going to be doing, the treatment plan, the protocol. I always say, and I can fire you if you're not doing your home care because I'm not going to waste your parents' money. Because it's so important to actually do the work. Because I don't know if you know this, but 80% of glow-ups, I guess, 80% of changes on the skin happens with home care. 20% is
Wow.
treatments. 20% just gives you that push, but you're not going to get anywhere if you're not doing a home care regimen.
That's awesome.
Yep. So,
That's good to know.
yep.
Reminds me that I really got to pay attention to that.
But it's so hard. It's so hard. I just had a client recently. She said that every time I ask her if she's doing her home care regimen, it feels like her dentist asked her if she's flossing.
Flossing.
Mhm.
I know.
Yep.
And then we're like, well, sometimes, yeah.
I'm like, really? Because I see a popcorn kernel in your teeth, and you haven't had popcorn in weeks. So,
So you do that. What else? What other kinds of fun things do you offer?
we do offer facial services that don't pertain to acne.
Okay.
We have facials that are perfect for people who are just starting out, have never had a facial before.
Sure.
And then we do have chemical peels and also advanced facials that target more mature skin, hyperpigmentation, if they have lax skin, or if they're struggling with sensitivity or an impaired lipid barrier. So yes, we offer facials from acne to mature to just wanting to relax. We also offer body waxing. I specialize in Brazilian waxing, specifically vulvas. So I also work on ingrown hairs. So people who struggle with ingrown hairs in that area, I do ingrown treatments. I help them with a home care routine to help reduce that inflammation, irritation, all of that. So yeah,
All kinds of
So-
great things going on.
So with the name of the studio, do you call it the loyalty card? Is it a V's card?
yes, it sure
Nice.
is.
That's amazing.
It's okay. When I was in high
Love it.
school, my full name, my first and last name is Valerie Jean, And I had a friend who used to call me the JJ.
Oh.
Yes.
You were like,
And I now think that was fate. And I'm like, she just knew that I was going to be waxing vaginas someday.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
I love it.
besides me waxing vaginas, there's there is also we also offer eyebrow treatments. So eyebrow lamination, tinting and staining, and waxing.
What is eyebrow lamination? I keep hearing about this, and I'm not sure what it is.
So it makes your eyebrows look fuller. It is a relaxer that helps soften the hairs, and you train them to go in a specific direction. So have you ever seen anybody with eyebrow hairs that kind of are more down?
Yes.
We can make it so that they are more pointing up.
Sure.
Okay, Kate, if you're watching this, please do not judge me, because she is our eyebrow queen, and I like doing eyebrow services, but she's probably listening in on this and be like, what are you talking about, Valerie? It's
when
pointing down and then you point up.
Down and then you point it up.
Yes.
I know what you mean, though.
But it's training the hairs to sit at
Nick's checking his out right now. He's like, wait a minute.
Yes. You do have your
Some
hair.
are going down.
Yes. Yes.
We're going to have to get you in.
Yep. But
Christmas gift.
there you go. But by doing this, it helps your eyebrows look fuller, and more framed. So
Sure. Very cool.
yeah, and like
I just always was wondering what it was.
yes, and it's not as scary. I thought that you would look like like you don't want your hair sticking all the way up, you know, like that, like those eyebrows that just kind of look unnatural.
Too much.
But that depends on the technique. Kate, when she does lamination, she does a very good technique where it's not sticking straight up. She slants them, and then she makes it have a soft edge where it just looks natural curved. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yep. And I do have a lot of clients on my schedule, so when laminations come in, they tend to go to her, and she's so talented. I'm so happy that I hired her. I actually want to talk about Kate. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Hello, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
I'm talking about you because I love you. So Kate, she actually graduated at the technical college, the aesthetics program, and that's actually where I adjunct. But she wasn't my student at all. And we had met in a wedding. I was in a wedding, and she was doing the makeup.
Okay.
Fun fact about Kate Charles is she owns Kate Charles Beauty, and she's a really, really good makeup artist.
Good to know.
So popular, in fact, that one time during one of my classes at the tech, I was talking about Kate, and didn't even bring up V Skin Studio in my business. So I was talking about Kate Charles and how I work alongside her, and the student was like, oh, doesn't she work at a place called V's Skin Studio? And I had that moment where I was like, I am V.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, well, that is actually me.
Yes.
And yes, she does.
Yes. So
I love it.
we say that
That's
she
awesome.
is the face of V's Skin Studio because everyone knows her. But I snatched her up right after she graduated. I remember we were training her, and she found out that she passed her boards, and I have a video of her dancing, and we were very happy. But yeah, she is my esthetician at V's Skin Studio. She is like, we're the yin to our yang. Like, she is Buttercup, and I am Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls.
I love that.
Like, she is very dark and edgy. I'm very light and bubbly. But as I've worked with her more, we complement each other very well because she also has like bubbly hints, and I also have more like edgy hints. So, yes,
that's good. I think that's so important because I always say, like, I could not work with people that were just like me.
Yep.
We would murder each other.
Yes, and you also have to work with someone that you just, I hate to sound like a millennial here, but vibe with.
Absolutely,
you know?
vibe with, for sure.
You need to vibe with them.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate to have.
She sounds very talented.
She is very talented.
That's awesome.
And because she worked in the makeup industry for so long, she's very good at shaping eyebrows. And she also struggled with acne too. The reason why I hired her is because I saw that passion in her. And she also struggled with acne. Like, we both don't have that stereotypical perfect esthetician skin. We do have scarring from acne. We do have dull skin sometimes, and that's just what makes us human, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, thank you.
That's so cool.
You're so nice. Like, and you're so comfortable to
No,
be
I really
around
know.
too.
Well,
Has
thank
anyone ever
you.
told you that?
A few times.
Oh, like, you're like, not to.
I mean, no. No, you know what though, honestly.
What else am
that's-
I?
Yeah. No. It's I think that's part of why I've been able to do as well as I do in real estate, because I like to listen. I like to hear what other people have to say. Don't get me wrong, I like to talk too.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying, I also like to listen and I like to learn, and I think those are all,
Yeah.
important things.
And now that you say that, going back to Brazilian waxes, that's usually when I get asked, how did I get into this?
Mm-hmm.
And I always have to say, well, I didn't get into this to do this. I got into this to work on acne, and that's actually what I do a lot.
Sure.
But I do Brazilian waxes. I stuck with it, and I continued with it because that's when people, like, open up their lives to you. And,
Well, I would say.
yeah.
You got to be pretty open at that point.
But
Well, you said it. I was thinking it. We were all thinking it.
Yes, we were all thinking it.
But
Hmm.
it takes a special person to want to know about someone's life and give them a safe space to just open up.
Hmm. Yes, I agree. And thank you. I feel the same way about you.
Thank you.
I think we just vibe well, like you said, what all the kids are saying.
Vibe. Mm-hmm.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
So, how can people best find you, contact you, book appointments with you, all the things?
Well, we are on social media, so we are on Instagram. We're trying to stay on top of the trends on Instagram. I don't know about you, but
Me
reels,
too. It's hard.
reels give me a headache.
Mhm.
It's
It's
like,
hard.
It's like if you're a business owner, you also have to be an influencer.
Mhm.
So yes, we are on social media. Do not judge my trends or my my
I'm
reels.
sure they're fantastic.
I mean, they're okay. We did do a ghost one for Halloween. We dressed up as ghosts.
That's fun.
Mhm.
That's fun.
Yes. So yes, we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Hmm.
If you're looking for us, our handle is V Skin Studio.
Okay.
Not V's Skin Studio. It's VSKINSTUDIO. Did I spell that right?
Yes.
You sure did.
Thank you.
I was literally spelling it along with you. So, yep.
Because
Mhm.
people get confused because they think there's two S's after the
Mhm.
V, but there's
Sure.
only one S.
Got it.
There is also our website
Okay.
at vskinstudio.com.
Okay.
And from there, you can find our phone number, you can find our booking site, you can find our email. I will say that if you want to contact us via phone, please text us
Mm-hmm.
because we are millennials, and our
Mhm.
voicemail literally says, leave us a voicemail with a detailed message or just text us.
Mm-hmm.
Or it says this mailbox is already full.
Oh, gosh. No, we stay on top of that. We stay on top of that.
That would just be me then.
I love it. I feel like there's lots of different ways that people can get in touch with you. So the big thing is to remember it's V, not Visa.
Yes.
V.
My
Skin
business is
Studio.
V's Skin Studio,
Right.
but my socials.
To get a hold of you, we're
Mhm.
going to do vskinstudio.com, or we're going to do Facebook or Instagram,
Mhm.
V Skin Studio.
Yes, and I do have it on my socials that it says DM me at your own risk because dark humor,
I love
but
that.
only because I may forget to check it. So when in doubt, just text or email me.
Mhm.
Unless
Perfect.
you want to comment on my stuff, engage on your friends' social media.
Yes,
It's so
please.
important.
It really is.
Yes.
Best thing you can do for them.
Yes, there was one
really
reel that I
is.
made, and what I did was I took screenshots of all of the posts that I had that
Mhm.
had like 0 to 3 to 5 likes,
Sure.
and have you ever watched Schitt's Creek?
Oh, yes. I
Yes.
loved it.
David Rose.
Mhm.
There was one where I had 0 likes, and in the background he goes, eat glass. So it's like, it's fun. I encourage you to
love
look at that one.
I love that. That makes me want to just watch Schitt's Creek all
It's
over
so
again. It's
good.
so great.
So good.
It's so great.
I'm a little bit of an Alexis Rose, but like.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
That is fantastic. Well, this has been so great. I feel like we've
Yeah.
learned a lot about you.
Oh,
And I feel like I need to come in and get a facial. Fun fact, I've never had one in my whole life.
Stop.
Really?
No. What?
I know.
Oh my God, come in.
I know Nick's like, what? Because I've had a lot of other, again, massages and this and that, but I've never had
Yeah.
a facial. I don't know why. I mean, I want to.
Huh.
I just never have.
I'm
That
so
shocks me.
surprised.
What is the worst? Okay, I have one more question.
Okay, what's up?
What is the worst thing you can do for your skin?
Not wear SPF.
Okay.
Oh.
So wear SPF.
Mhm.
There was actually I forgot what podcast it was called. I think it was Things You Should Know. They covered sunscreen and why it's important. And there is like that I don't want to call it fear mongering, but people saying that SPF can cause cancer, but that is not true. It prevents sun damage and skin cancer. But wearing your SPF, one of the leading causes of aging is sun damage.
Yeah.
So when in doubt, SPF it up.
Get the SPF.
Yes. Yeah. And there
Okay,
are so many
that's
different
good.
kinds too.
Yes.
So like whether it's physical or chemical, and the thing with like skincare is people are so nervous when they hear the word chemical.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that water is a chemical?
Mm.
So when you
No, I didn't, but now I've learned something today.
Yeah, when you see something that says chemical free, they are lying. Water is a chemical.
Got it.
A chemical sunscreen is just when the UV ray makes contact with your skin,
Mm-hmm.
that SPF turns it into heat.
Okay.
And that's a chemical reaction. So
This
that's
is
why it's
good to
called
know.
chemical.
Would you follow that up closely with don't wear your makeup to bed?
I feel like you're asking me that for personal reasons. Do you wear your makeup to bed?
Sometimes.
Did you know I'm putting my mouth closer to the mic? Did you know that can age you faster?
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I've heard these things, but sometimes I get really lazy at
Okay.
night, and
So
then
that was actually
I
going
just
to be
get
my
tired.
That's gonna be my next question is why do you sleep with your makeup on?
Yeah, it's not that I want to. It's not that I'm like, I need to wake up looking like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I'm like, I'm so tired. So perhaps what I need to do is like do those things earlier in the night before
Yeah.
I get really tired.
Also, there are different ways to take off your makeup.
Mhm.
You can get these cloths that you just rub on your face. And
Mhm.
now, do you have eyelash extensions?
I do.
Okay, yeah. Then you'd have to be cautious with that because you don't want to put anything oil-based on there. But
Sure.
you can get these makeup removing cloths. Now, not the disposable ones that are like from like
Mhm.
I don't want to say the name brand, but like the ones that you get at the
Yes.
drugstore.
Right.
The makeup wipes that actually has a high content of drying alcohol that breaks down the makeup, and that can again age you faster.
Sure.
Strip your.
I need all the things that are going to keep the fountain of youth going as long as
Then
possible.
start your skincare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start it.
All right. I guess I
Yes.
should really do that.
Kelly's like, next question. Is it true what they say about eating chocolate?
I need to know all the things today.
But
But I will come and see you
Yes.
because I know some peeps in the beauty industry and such that get regular facials and things, and I just feel like they're just glowing for real.
Yes.
And then I'm like, why don't I do that?
When I am on top of my skincare routine, my skin is glowing. Just to put a note out there, like mental health is a real thing. So if you are struggling with depression or any low period, give yourself some grace. You don't have to do the whole steps. Like there was a day or two where I took off my makeup, but I didn't do anything else because I was just so low.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself some grace.
Mm-hmm.
You can come back from that.
Sure.
That is okay. Just try your best.
Yes. I like that. It's not perfection, right?
No,
It's
no.
just getting into a routine and doing it as much as possible.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you for that because that always concerns me and I really need to start paying more attention to that. Well, thank you again
Yes.
for all of these great tips.
Thank you for having
And
me.
yes, I think everybody should go visit you.
I hope so. Hi.
Yes. She's like, hi. Remember how I said I want to be here in 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
You will be. You're doing a great job.
Good, thank
so
you.
thank you.
Very cool.
Yes. And everybody's going to check out V's Skin Studio. And have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much for having
Yeah,
me.
absolutely.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.
She's so precious. Isn't it great when she... Or go to...